G'day ladies and gentlemen, it is Duckville here. How are we all doing? I hope we're all having fun. It is what is it? It's a Monday, the 2nd of July here in, whatever time frame it is that I am casting this. In real time for me, but obviously for you guys it'll be a little bit later. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about the players that we've got. This is going to be a really fun game. It's between two very high-level European players who have been around for the longest of times. I think if you put all their time together, they've probably been around for pretty much the entire Brood War scene, and now also the StarCraft 2 scene as well. But our young Zerg player down on the bottom right-hand side has been not getting much attention when it comes to comparatively to his teammates. Down here in the bottom right, it is our Red Zerg player, Liquid Ret. Now, Red, of course, one of the long-term Team Liquid players. His brethren, Tasia and TLO and Snoot have been getting all the attention lately, of course, with Home Story Cup, and then doing really well at some of the other local events that have been going on in EU, and of course TLO going over to Korea for a little while, and Tasia, of course, being Tasia, one of the best Terrans in the world. So, Ret hasn't actually had as much sort of attention as you would normally see. Like, we did get to see him quite a lot during some of the MLG events in 2012, and at a couple he did really well. Like, he took down MVP, if I remember correctly, at one of the events, or came very close to it, something like that. But hopefully we'll get to see Ret, of course, not to say that he's been down and out, or that he's going to retire shortly or anything like that, just sort of saying he hasn't had as much attention lately. Of course, his opponent up at the top left-hand side is our Blue Protoss player, has, as we said, been around for a while. He's one of the magical figures of the scene. You watch his stream and it puts a smile on your face when you see this guy doing this special tactics. Of course, we are speaking of Whitera. Now, Whitera has always been a fun player to watch, whether it be just to have some, just to sort of enjoy yourself while watching some StarCraft due to his slightly eccentric tactics from time to time, or as he would like to say, the special tactics, or just purely because he's a very good player. Of course, he's been around for so long because he is very good. So. And he's been at many events. I don't think he was at MLG just recently, but I'm pretty sure he would have wanted to be there. Yeah, he's a fantastic player in his own right. So while we wait for the game just to sort of kick up a little bit here, and in fact we did see the Whitera put down the gateway first before the pylon, and is now going to throw down a cannon. It looks as if a couple of Lings are now making their way across from Liquid Red, so we're going to get into the action really quickly. So I just wanted to mention, guys, if you've been following me, I know a lot of people watch the DreamHack stream and all those kinds of things, and it was a great amount of fun that we had doing that kind of content. But in fact, actually, Whitera looking for a block there unfortunately did not make it in time, so the Lings make it inside. But anyway, as I was saying, if you've been watching my content lately, I would love if you guys could jump onto Facebook. It's on facebook.com/duckville.casting. It is linked at the end of the video, and of course, you can see it on my splash screen and all that kind of cool stuff. But yeah, I would love it if we could get some more likes going. I think I'm up to like 289. I would love to reach 300 pretty soon. So if you guys could all jump on if you haven't already, big thanks to everyone who already has. And we'll see if we can get some more Facebook attention there. Now, if you're wondering what I use it for, mainly just for sort of, well, sometimes I rant about my own experiences on ladder, and I'm sure some of you can be familiar with some of the stuff that I rant about, but also for just listing events that are coming up, streams, all sorts of things relating to that. Also a little bit of Dota too, if you're into Dota, because I do love me Dota. So please do jump on there. But anyway, let's talk about this game, of course, because that's what we're here for today. Ret has gotten inside with 4 of the Lings. They're in fact all still alive, but now actually Whitera slices one of them up like a piece of cheese, and he's gotten 1 worker kill. That's actually not too bad. Like, you sort of look at it and you think, well, he's just gotten Lings inside. Why isn't he doing more with it? Well, of course, these days, thanks to this little beauty up in the sky, the Mothership Core will pretty much deflect these kinds of attacks. Wings of Liberty, you would have had this Ling running around for days. This guy would have been running around inside, going back and forth, into the mineral line every now and then to try and cap one of those probes. But now, due to the Mothership Core, he's not able to do that kind of stuff. So Ret does get a single probe kill, and that's why I'm saying it's not too bad that he did get that. So you will be able to see that that Whitera is going to take a 645 expansion here at the third base. Now, just speaking of Akalon Waste, of course, everyone will know that this map is very, very favorable to Protoss, at least in the early stages, due to this very easy to secure third base. You can throw a cannon down, as Whitera is doing, take down the rocks, which will drop down some extra rocks to block off this path, and then eventually you can get rid of this this little path here, and effectively have a very secure 3 bases, which is always nice to have. So this is why we do see Whitera putting on a little bit of pressure. He's just sort of saying to his opponent, alright, you have seen that I've taken the third base, but, you know, it's not as if to say I'm going to be just completely passive about this game. So Whitera does attempt to push against these queens. It looks as if the Mothership Core is getting extremely daring there. Actually lures out the queen, and I think, yeah, he loses his Zealot, but he should be able to get that queen with the Stalker. Very nicely done. And it looks as if the Stalker will go down. And in fact, the Mothership Core is actually being cornered by the queen. She's stuck in a little bit of an odd spot, and Whitera loses his Mothership Core, but it's not too bad. He takes down a queen. He takes out, I think we saw a few worker kills there as well. So very nicely done by the Protoss player there. So he'll be happy with that result for the moment. Whereas Red, well, he's still in a pretty good damn position himself. I mean, this guy is a machine when it comes to macro. Look at him, 71 drones already. He has gone extremely heavy when it comes to his economy. As we can see, going to build up a spire here. Noticing that Whitera takes a very quick third base means that the Protoss player does have a little bit slower tech. As we can see here, the 2 Stargates for Whitera are only just going up. So this means that Whitera won't have as much protection to deal with things such as mutas, but Red should be able to see now that there are double Stargates, and he should know that perhaps going full mutas, like crazy amounts of mutas straight away, it may not be the best idea, because all Whitera will need to do is just to switch into double Phoenix production, and he'll be all a-okay with that. You can fend off the mutas, keep them off your mineral lines and that kind of thing, and then you're all fine and dandy, because the Phoenix are just far superior in the air, especially once you get that onion crystals upgrade. That's what I'm looking for. But as we can see, a couple of Void Rays have come out. In fact, just the one for the moment. There is a second one in production. Whitera is going to go into a little bit of a Sky Tile style, at least for the start of this game, but he is picking up +1 to ground weapons. We've also got a Robo here as needed for those sorts of units. Meanwhile, for Liquid Red, we can see across on his side of the map, we've got 7 mutas building up, +1 to missile attacks, and +1 to Carapace is going to be coming out first. This is a really interesting play from Red here, just getting the Carapace first. A lot of the time, most players, they love to grab their +1 to the air weapons, which of course means that your mutas do quite a lot more damage due to the fact that they have a bouncing attack. When you upgrade your attack, you kind of do it. It sort of increases your actual overall attack by quite a lot, just due to the bounce. But this time, I think I'm pretty sure, like, because I'm actually not very much a muta player when it comes to playing Zerg. But I believe this strategy will be revolving around the fact that Phoenix, they do 2 attacks. If you have +1 to Carapace, that affects both of those attacks. So it is a little bit beneficial if it comes to a fact where you know you're going to be dealing with some Phoenix out in the sky, that if you do have that +1 to Carapace, lets your muta survive a little bit longer. So he's going to try and a little bit of a weird kind of metagaming here, like a game of chicken, if you will, just by saying, alright, I'm going to go mass mutas. You're probably going to have some Phoenix now, so what I'm going to do is it's going to look like I might try and switch back into something else, but, you know, I'm going to have +1 Carapace, and the mutas will survive quite a lot longer, and Red gets a couple of kills there, very nicely done. The Phoenix will force out the mutas, at least for the time being. Those Void Rays need to be extremely careful out here, but the Phoenix do get taken out. Red doing a wonderful job of just keeping Whitera occupied while he picks up his 5th base. This is a 5th base, I'm not even joking. We're at the 12, almost 13 minute mark, and Red has 98 drones out on the map, along with a decent start to his creep spread here, just pushing through the middle of the map, and he's up to 5 bases. So, you know, he's just doing a wonderful job with his economy. He is now, it does look like he's starting to switch into a much more standard sort of ground style here, with the Hydra Den researching the groove spines. We've got a 2nd Evo chamber that's just, in fact, sorry, that's a 3rd Evo chamber that's being built up. So we're going to have 3 Evo chambers. This could be a buffet building for Vipers or something. something like that, but I'd probably say he's just going to go very, very heavy into upgrades. While he's keeping his opponent occupied with those mutas, Rhett will just want to get everything prepared for a possible switch to Ultra Ling or something like that if he wants, sorry, not Ultra Ling, Hydra Ling if he wants to have a very mobile force. But what I would probably assume is going to be coming out is a much more melee-based attack with the Adrenal Glands, as we can see, +1 to melee, the Ground Carapace. I think that second Evo may have been a mistake, or maybe he's just preparing a buffet building for Vipers, because there are also Vipers now coming out from Liquid Red. So he's going to have the very, very powerful forces. Of course, Viper's a wonderful tool to have in the arsenal of a Zerg player when it gets to the mid and late game stages of ZVP. Utilize the Vipers to pull Colossi out of position, grab Immortals, even Archons, those kinds of things. And if you can snag those big power units, then it can be a very, very strong part of the game for the Zerg player. If they can just take out the power units, then things such as these Hydras, the Immortals and things like that can come about and do all sorts of critical damage. So it looks like Whitera is going to identify that there is a base up towards the top right hand side here. He sees that and he's going to say, uh-oh. He's not actually on just 4 bases, he's on 5 bases with, you know, 11 billion drones right now. And of course, as anyone will know, a Zerg on that many bases is going to be a very, very powerful force to be reckoned with. We can see that Rhett is now sitting on a total of 2,500 minerals and almost a very similar count in the gas. But now with the Phoenix, they're doing their best to try and control the skies. But I mean, he's just sort of running back and forth to try and deal with these mutas all the while. The Queens are building up, Hydras are being added on, those Vipers are ready to go, as we saw. Where are they? There they are, in the middle, and the Ultralisk count is going to start to increase because 2-2 for missile attacks is on the way. I'm a little bit surprised about that. It looks like he is going to be adding in all of those Queens to help out with this push that may be coming up, and the Viper's almost getting taken down straight away by the Phoenix, but no, he pulls out the Colossi, pulls them back from the protective line of cannons at the front, and the Hydras and Mutas are going to go to town on these big units. Now, this is a point where you may think, well, Rhett's actually losing this battle. It's not the best battle for him, but what he is doing is taking out these critical units such as the Colossi, and now we can see that he will be forced back, but he has taken out a couple of Colossi. He's gotten Whitera down to 125 supply, and Whitera does have really good production. We can see that he's got the Robo continually pumping, extra gates have now gone up, Stargate as well, and all of the tech is available, but the problem is that Whitera can just is going to be continually dealing with large amounts of Zerg forces just constantly being thrown like spaghetti at the wall, because we can see now that Rhett has this massive bank already. It's the 17-minute mark and he's building 11 Ultras, so he's going to be just throwing these at the wall, it seems. Apparently Rhett's strategy here is, oh no, there's stuff in the air, I'd better get some Ultralisks. So he's going to throw out a huge amount of Ultralisks here. 12, 13 are on the field right now, 12 Queens alongside them, going to help out with their transfuse, and this is going to be a little bit of a scary moment for Whitera. He's sort of sitting here thinking, alright, I've got some cannons, I've got some Void Rays, we're going to have additional Robos coming out for Immortals and things like that, but that's a lot of Ultralisk right here. Their upgrades aren't exactly stellar. They've got 3-1 right now just because of that weird sort of switch into missile attacks, which I was a little bit surprised about. But here we go. Ultras getting thrown at the wall of cannons. Void Rays up in the sky. The Phoenix sitting around doing absolutely nothing, pointing at what to shoot. And we can see that the Void Rays do a wonderful job of taking down the Ultras for the most part. Of course, their bonus damage to Armored is a very powerful facet of these chandeliers in the sky. The Queens at the back trying to do what they can to take out the Void Rays, but it looks as if the Void Rays will stay alive for the moment. The Zealots helping them out, tanking up some of the Queens. The Transfusers don't get utilized as much as they could have been. But Rhett, again, has taken down some of the supply of Whitera, but is it enough? Whitera is now up to 162 supply. He's got a lot of Void Rays now starting to come out. We've got 6 on the field, Colossi, and also Immortals starting to make their way out. And Rhett is just going to say, alright, that's cool. We're going to take a 6th base, possibly even take a 7th base very soon. His creep is spreading still through the middle section of the map. A little bit surprised that... Like, I'm a little bit surprised about this. What is this? There's no creep spread from the main to the nat or through the 3rd base. The rocks are still here. This is just the economic style that Rhett has gone for. Just saying, all right, we're just gonna get so many drones. 88 drones are out, you know, and it doesn't really matter what else of the logistical sides of playing the game here, because he's just now switched into a huge count of mutalisks. 30 mutalisks now out on the map. They have got their 1-1. Their +2 to attack is also sorry, the +2 to carapace is now researching. He just blasts his way through the cannons, and without any storms prepared, without a large counter Phoenix here, Whitera is in a huge amount of trouble. We've got so many mutalisks here. He's starting to just trade them, just throwing them at the Void Rays and saying, alright, that's all you've got? What else have you got in the bank there, Whitera? Because now 3 Void Rays come out. Whitera scrambling to get some Phoenix out. He does have, you know, the power of 3-gate production, but unfortunately, when a pylon goes down and then the 3rd Stargate is probably just going to get directly taken out here, there is no real way for Whitera to deal with this. So comfortably, Liquid Ret takes his 7th base and is pretty much, I'd say this is just the end of the game here, with the Templar tech gone, Stargate's done for, and virtually no defense on the ground. Like, I mean, if the Stalkers had some extra upgrades, if they were up to like 3-2-3 or something like that, you could possibly make the argument that Mutas would have a little bit of a contest against those Stalkers. But I mean, in this situation where Whitera has had to deal with 30 Mutas up in the sky, there are still 30 up there because Rhett has been able to replenish so incredibly quickly, and you know, that is going to be it, I would assume. Ling's going to make their way across the map and probably finish off the last of Whitera's Protoss forces that he has in his base. Ling's just going to find some random buildings here, and a GG. Well played from Whitera. So really, really heavy economic game there from Liquid Ret, just identifying that his opponent was going for an extremely fast 3rd base there, the 645, I think we called it, and just sort of said, all right, you want to play that game? I'm going to play that game better because I am Ret and I know how to SD. So Liquid Ret takes a victory off Whitera there. As mentioned before, please do jump on the Facebook page, facebook.com/duckville.casting. And of course, I will be streaming a little bit more now on twitch.tv/duckvillelol. And thank you all for joining. I'll catch you all next time. Very standard and won't throw out crazy stuff too often. So we will see this, the 11-minute timing, the Mothership Core, going to have a quick look and see what she can find in there, but a couple of Marines will poke about and try and defend against that. So we can see that the stim is now on